Hello, lovely listeners, and welcome back to our next Water Trio Astrology podcast. We are talking about the astrology of the week 8th of April through to the 14th. And I'm here with my lovely Astro pals, Kelly Surtees. Hi, Kel.
Hey, Alicia.
And Cassandra Tyndall.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So there's quite a bit of action this week, huh? It was a bit hard to actually choose an aspect. So just know that it's pretty busy in the sky this week, and we will be just handpicking an aspect that each of us likes. So where should we start? Who wants to go first?
Well, I think just on that note, Leash, this is a really busy week. It feels like a week where we're starting to get, generally the idea of mojo and motivation back. We had the lovely new moon in Aries previous week, which kind of means this week the moon is waxing or growing. She's just kind of stimulating that forward movement and that idea of progress and growth. And then, as you said, we won't be able to cover all of the aspects this week because our episode would be 2 hours long. And we want to give you the juicy highlights. But knowing that there is a huge number of astrological aspects this week, it's just an indication that generally it's going to feel like a bit of a busier week. There's going to be a lot more going on, discussions, collaborations, even some disagreements. But, sometimes you've got to get through them so that you can keep the progress or the momentum up. So just that feeling of like picking up the pace then after the new moon in Aries, pushing forward, and just a lot happening in a short space of time.
Yeah, totally. And the fact that Mercury is really picking up speed now and is almost at the end of Pisces will add to that kind of forward momentum. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Are we there yet?
Mars
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Like the kids in the back seat.
Exactly. I think it's the whole world yelling, are we there yet? Yeah. And Mars in Gemini as well. Even since that moved in last week, it just feels like the oomph is back, the energy's back. So, yeah.
A little bit more spark. Any general thoughts on the week, Cass?
Yeah, it's certainly busy. It's the momentum's just going to be, it's like moving from like dazed and confused to being like Skippy in the headlights. It's just going to be from like one extreme to the other. Or Skippy is what we call kangaroos for our Northern Hemisphere.
The non-Australian listeners.
It might be a deer in the headlights, I think you might say, but we just go, Skippy in the headlights. So it's definitely going to have that kind of, when I think of Mars and Gemini, I often think of, and just the whole astro energy of the week. So what we've got still like Mercury, it's not totally kind of starting to move at least out of that shadow phase. So that's going to bring it maybe a little bit more clarity, but we're not going to really get fully out of that until it moves into Aries, and Mercury has his own version of astro rehab, right? So we've got that happening. We've got the Venus conjunct Neptune. So it's still got a little bit of that's nicer than Mercury for sure, but it's still got a few of those Neptune vibes, plus a busy Mars in Gemini. I just think of, it's that kind of, it's almost got a feel of having the foot on the gas and on the brake at the same time, because Venus just kind of wants to maybe like chill out and relax, but Mars is like, come on, like wants to kind of rush things through. And so we could go there, how that would maybe manifest, but there's a lot of options.
That idea of going off half cocked in a way. It's like, you haven't got the gun. Not
it was like
that.
Wait for
it's
it.
Like the gun
really
cocked,
on the inside.
It's like, can you just slow down a little bit, mate?
No, the expression actually refers to guns, not to those.
Oh, okay.
Half cocked. It's running off, you kind of...
Yes, I've done weapons handling in the past.
So I think this is a great,
quite a good shot.
Sorry,
so this is a good segue into Venus Neptune.
And we've just lost all sense of decorum or boundaries. And hello, Venus conjunct Neptune, which was the first aspect we wanted to talk about. So I really think Venus is a little bit, I don't know. Well, who knows? Okay, I have a theory about Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces and how it's different from Venus conjunct Neptune in other signs. And my theory is that when a planet is in a sign where it's in its home sign, it's in rulership, or it's in a sign where it's exalted, it has that extra strength and extra juice, there's like a talent or a gift that can be unlocked when that planet in the strength or rulership position or exaltation connects with an outer planet. So as much as there will be, you know, some of the typical Neptune things which we'll run through, it does feel there's a little bit of like a release of some sort of pure beauty, inspirational, you know, it's like a mist or a infusion that can come through. It's midweek. It's Wednesday the 10th that Venus is conjunct Neptune at 17 Pisces at the same degrees that all that Mercury, Neptune mayhem was happening at. So I think in one of our earlier episodes, I was like, Venus in Pisces is like the cleanup crew, and she's not just cleaning it up, she's putting a bow on it, you know? And I think some of the Mercury snafus or confusion of the last few weeks, really we just get a sweetness or a sense of, oh, we've found a resolution, or we're going to figure this out as Venus kind of gets to Neptune there midweek.
It's a bit like the cherry on top of the like we had a bit of confusion and we had our mishaps and maybe our little bit of our lovers' tips or what have you. But but you know, this is the working through that fog or that confusion, and now we get to the good stuff, you know, whereas just that little silver lining.
Totally.
Yeah.
What do you think, Leash?
Well, I mean, I liked your analogy about the cleanup crew. I mean, the vision I have is actually Florence Nightingale. You know, the men have come in wounded from war, and she's walking through the wards, you know, mopping brows and giving comfort, offering an empathetic ear. But I also think with this, you know, and I loved your analogy, Kel, too, you know, when Jupiter, which is also in its own sign in Pisces, was conjunct Neptune in my own chart. You know, I had a little boy, my beautiful little gift of a little boy come into the world, which was beautiful. So I love that. But I think as well, with the Mercury retrograde, it turns us inwards. It turns our mind inwards. And yes, it has been crazy, but it's been crazy on the outside, and it's made us have a look at what we needed to understand internally about ourselves and how these external patterns are happening, why they're there, what are the triggers, what are they telling us about where we're at. And so when Venus comes along to this point, it's a way to actually recalibrate, reset our value systems to now match what we learned about ourselves. So it's that extra kind of gift of looking at our values, looking at our principles, looking at our ethics and our morals, and saying, okay, you know, for me, this has all been happening in the 12th house, and it's been around finances. And I feel like this is actually going to be a time when I'm going to plug that drain that has been that Mercury in retrograde in this area, and actually align myself properly to my values of, okay, what's important for me right now and what's not, and how can I clarify all of that? So that's my take on the Venus-Neptune. Just adding something in.
No, I love that. That's great. I mean, it's also very creative too, isn't it? I think of poetry and music and not just any poems, like Pablo Neruda's love poems or Khalil Gibran's passages on love and marriages, like very much that idealistic craving, which might be too soft and fluffy for you, Cass.
For those that can't see, there was a massive eye roll.
Or just like a face, a smirk.
That's not true.
I mean, it was just a little like,
Yeah, no, I was just like, I don't know. I'm just not really hugely romantic. I'm just not. I just don't think I am, at least. But yeah, like, you know, I can put on a bit of Harry Connick Jr. and get in the mood sometimes.
Fantastic. I love it.
But honey, you listen to, I mean, you're always talking about how the death metal you listen to is actually poetry.
It's black metal. There's a difference. Yeah, well, that's right.
Sorry.
So black metal is kind of like, like a beautiful autumn leaf falling off a tree into the stream as the sun rises, and you remember your ancestors. It's very, you know, poignant for the current astrology at the moment. So it sounds a little bit aggressive, but it's not really.
Well, I don't think aggressive is what Venus conjunct Neptune in Pisces is after.
No. What escapism in whatever form really works for you, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I think there is something to be said for this aspect around the pleasure principle in terms of like letting go or just allowing yourself to flow with whether it's a creative inspiration or just that feeling that's like, I want to read this book or I want to paint this thing or I want to soak in the bath, or there is a little bit of that, like I just need to tune out. Not so much tune out, but I more need to make sure that I'm tuned in, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
there is that sort of in your waters kind of feel to it, like in the sense that you want to connect with something and feel good, but that's going to be different for everybody, of course.
Yeah, it's like the little sweetnesses or the little luxuries. And I mean, there could be some really good quality chocolate that's consumed or a really fine wine. Cass, you might have a scotch.
I like wine too.
Yeah.
I have to say, since Venus has been in Pisces, I've really, at Woolies, you can buy these I know I've sent you girls a photo of it on WhatsApp, these Belgian chocolate slabs. You'll be able to give us the real stuff soon, Kel.
How did I miss this picture, mate? I can confirm that Belgium has amazing chocolate. Like, I think I put on about 3 kilos when I was there for a week. I'm a bit scared. So they have it at Woolies?
Yeah, there's the Belgian chocolate brownies. And they are divine.
Yeah, but they're not gluten-free, are they?
No. I don't have any gluten issues.
No, I know. So you enjoy them.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean.
They're all yours.
I'm just sort of,
you and the normal people.
But yeah, no. I've been indulging in, more sweet things. I've just had this craving, Neptune, for sweet things. Pisces, right? So, yeah.
Well, I sometimes find when there's a lot of things like this in Pisces, I'm not a massive drinker and I don't drink a lot and I don't drink during the, but I sometimes feel like at 11 o'clock in the morning I'd like a vodka.
Yeah, but that Mercury retrograde will do that to anyone, I think.
And I don't, obviously, because it's the middle of my work day. But it's just, I've noticed that since we've had a little bit more of this Pisces flow, it's just want to get that little sort of slight disconnect, a little bit of buzz. And I definitely look forward to my Saturday night cocktail more when this is going on. So I might have to have a cheeky midweek.
I had my first drink in a while on Monday night.
Oh, for Venus rituals?
For Venus. So I got just one of those small bottles of cheap, sparkles and, put some in, which I've still got sitting on.
I can see. I'm like, you left that glass there. I love it.
And so half for Venus, half for me. And I'm, chipping away at my horoscopes and, gee, that was really good. It was just, it wasn't anything fancy, but it just hit the spot. Then I'm like, I wonder if Venus would mind if I had her share. But anyway, it's still there. I behave
But the
myself.
other thing, the thing I love about it with, alcohol is called spirits for a reason. And, it is a way to open up. And this is why different peyote ceremonies and cacao ceremonies and all these things that open the channel of the human to something higher is definitely, you just look at the glyph of Neptune. It's literally like pipelines running down here into the cross
antennae.
Yeah, exactly. Running down to that cross of matter that is us here on the planet. So absolutely, this is also about connecting to higher things, connecting to spirit, whether you use spirits or mushrooms or different things. But
or meditation. That works
contemplation, breathing, whatever works for you. So it's a really beautiful way to get that pleasure principle and bring it back to yourself through higher connection, unseen worlds kind of stuff. So, might be a good time to go and see a psychic.
Yeah, totally. Also just dissolves, any potential blockages that you might be having, or self-doubt or whatever, just sort of can open you up into that realm of possibility, of Neptune. It's like it may not be tangible, it may not be real, but if I've got that feeling that it could be, then maybe it will be.
Totally. And I feel like, you know, you want to get your spiritual on midweek because by Friday, Venus has shuffled away from her dance with Neptune and she's in a much more practically oriented sextile with Saturn. So did I say Saturday? Friday? I don't know what I said.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, it's very early in the morning.
For Australia.
It's 1 a.m. here.
Yeah, Friday, Canada and the States. So Venus will be at 20 Pisces by now. Saturn is obviously still at 20 Capricorn, where he's basically sitting for most of the month. I don't know. I'm quite partial to a Venus-Saturn aspect because I like the stabilizing energy. I like that sort of Venus in Pisces has a lot of soulfulness to offer, but not a lot of structure or containment, and that's what Saturn in Capricorn is going to offer. So Venus, Saturn heading into the weekend feels like commitment. It feels like making long-term plans. It feels like nourishing or putting effort into those really important relationships. It also feels like a bit of a recognition or a reality check that not everybody is of the same value or of the same importance, that you have really special friends and then you have kind of your acquaintance friends and you have your intimate partner and you might have family and then you have people that you know, but it's also that ordering and prioritizing that Saturn in Capricorn, you know, Saturn in Capricorn keeps a little bit of a hierarchy internally and sometimes we forget, you know, who deserves our best attention. I think this aspect will be a good reminder of that.
Yeah. I like that, the layers of the onion analogy, Cal. You know, which layer of the onion do you keep that person at? Are they at core or are they out in the skin?
Yeah.
Sound like a true Scorpio. I love it. It's like, oh, man. Now I'm going to be like all Cancerian about it. Go, oh, my God, which layer am I? No, I'm joking.
You're on the inner circle, mate, at least from our perspective. This is an inner circle situation with a few eavesdroppers.
It's like that circle of trust. Have you ever watched those Meet the Focker movies?
Meet the Parents.
Yeah. Very funny.
Yeah, the circle of trust.
In teaching, I describe Scorpio. It's like you're embracing your inner Robert De Niro. You're either in the circle of trust or you're out of it.
Yeah, there's people with you trust that you trust with stuff that they'll keep it in the vault, and there's people that you don't trust and they don't even know the vault exists.
Yep,
totes.
Yeah. So Venus is doing a couple of different things. I don't know, maybe because we're women, we just went with the Venus aspects this week. But, I mean, Cass, you've got a surprise bonus aspect for us to throw in.
Do I? Which one was that?
I don't know. You never shared, so I'm just hoping you'll pick
You were winging it.
Otherwise, I'm going to pick one for you because I know which one else I'd like to talk about. But you might have something you want.
Do you hang on? I know you...
I just want to say one thing about the Venus Saturn.
Yeah, more about Venus
sextile.
Saturn first. Okay, go. I love it. We've raised our hands because Venus Saturn's in the house. What are the rules?
Yeah. Sorry. Awesome. I love it. And the other thing I feel like, you know, because we were talking about higher connection and all that stuff, it's almost like in the middle of a week you can listen to your intuition, listen to your higher self, get those, the flow from that area, and then you can come and ground it, come and manifest it, come and make it real, come and anchor it. Because, you know, Venus is in Pisces, she's still in a really good position. So I feel like this aspect supports both of them because they're both in their happy places. So it's actually not going to be a tricky placement. I mean, there is some tension with a sextile, but I feel like it's like, I don't even know what it feels like, but it's going to be about anchoring those ideals that we came through with, and maybe
work for it.
Yeah, but the rose-colored glasses that can happen with that Venus Neptune will be lifted off, and you can go, okay, well, that was the ideal, that was the fantasy. What's the practical? What can I actually create right now?
What's the reality?
That? Yeah.
Or it could even be just a little bit of is this what it really is? You know, like
I don't know that it's quite, because it's a sextile. It feels a little bit.
It's more a little bit more supportive.
It's more like we want to do this, or
this is going to be harder than we thought, maybe.
Yeah,
possibly. You know, because I think sextiles still, you know, to me, you know, my experience, they still require work. It's sort of like that saying, you have the gift. you can have the gift but without the work, but the work and the gift, you know how like people can have a natural talent, but if they don't work it, it kind of means nothing. But if you have that work ethic Saturn, you can actually kind of, maybe overcome any of those potential hurdles or potential problems, because Venus and Saturn are both in really nice places zodiacally.
Yep.
So it's definitely like it's certainly more supportive, but I think going from Neptune's realm then into Saturn's, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, there's a bit of a readjustment required a little bit just from, Neptune to Saturn potentially.
Maybe it's a time to actually look that gift horse in the mouth rather than not. You know that analogy, don't you?
Yeah, I was just like, I got a bit
You're
head
coming out
twisted.
with some pearlers. Like.
Yeah. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, so you're saying
to look at it.
I really had
you know
to
how
think about that.
you check a horse with its teeth. So that's why they say that. So you check the teeth, check the gift.
Check it. Yeah, I guess I don't know, maybe if I'm being a bit Pollyanna, I just have this feeling of stability and clarity. Saturn is so good at helping you see things for how they are. And it's like a gentle realization because it is the sextile shift. It is, it's quite a change. If you were in rose-colored glasses Fantasyland midweek with Neptune, then that's going to feel a bit like a shift. But I don't know, I just feel Venus is so happy right now. She's just riding the waves in Pisces.
Totally.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my neighbour actually last night. So I was going for a walk and we met up in the park. Well, we didn't. He just happened to be there, and we've just come out of this like really humid, hot stretch here in Brisbane. And so that's like your Venus, Neptune, all that moisture, all that humidity, and sort of an overabundance of connectivity. And then sort of overnight, we just had dryness come through and that beautiful autumn kind of cool change. And that's your Saturn. And it was actually such a welcome change. It was actually refreshing, and this is really great. And normally I get a little bit pseudo kind of, oh no, where like summer's over. But this time I was really glad for it. And so, I mean, I know everybody who listens to us is not in Brisbane, but, just going from that humid part of
hot,
this last
wet, moist.
that last stretch of the summer, and then you're waiting for that autumn shift to come in. It's like that shift from Venus Neptune into Venus Saturn, and I'm loving it. It's really kind of nice for a welcome change.
Nice analogy, Cass.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
I must say I'm actually a bit chilly here at the moment, but I'm enjoying having my window open. But yeah, I don't actually sweat patches under my arms anymore.
Oh my God. So do we have a third aspect in the house for this week?
Well, I mean, I know we probably would like to talk about Mercury Pluto. I mean, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Are you going to make it an actuality?
What do you want to talk about?
I'm having the biggest like Neptune vague moment today.
I'm like,
just so you know, everybody, we are actually recording this when Mercury is back on Neptune.
Yes.
So, and I'm feeling more vague than usual, but I've only had 2 coffees so far. So just prior to the Venus Saturn aspect, we also have a Mercury Jupiter. We also.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to like dive in here, Cass.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Go, Kel.
Okay.
Go, Kel.
So there are a lot of things happening, and Cass has given us a bit of a rundown, which is great.
Oh, yeah. Well, just so you know, everybody, check your ephemeris. There it is.
My favourite aspect this week, and I do think it deserves a mention, so I'm glad we're going to talk about it, is the Sun in Aries trine Jupiter in Sagittarius coming through on Sunday.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones day.
Yes, the Game of Thrones release day. That's not how I personally am thinking about the day, but for those of you who are GOT fans. So why do we like Sun trine Jupiter? 2 benefic, or the Sun can be a bit of a benefic depending on what it's doing. Excuse me. In this case, it's sort of a golden, confidence-inducing outward focused, uplifting, courage building pairing. I mean, the sun is exalted in Aries, Jupiter is in rulership in Sag. It feels like a day where you might believe that you can do anything or that anything's possible, or you might back yourself. You might be like, yeah, I'm going to have a crack at this. I'm going to have a go, see what I can do. I might not be perfect, but it'll be a great experience, whatever it is. And Cass, to take a leaf out of your Say Yes month, which is birthday month for you, which I don't think we've shared that with our listeners yet because we haven't had your birthday yet. But this feels like a Say Yes Sunday, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely just have a go, mate. She'll be right.
Yeah.
And think about the detail. That's sort of something we would say here in Australia. But, yeah, definitely backing yourself, having the courage to do something that you might otherwise say no to. And so almost got this kind of like royal pairing, the Sun and Jupiter.
Oh, that's a beautiful
joining
word.
Forces.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's almost like at some level, maybe like House Stark and House Lannister, something might happen in Game of Thrones. We don't really know, right? So it's like different like kings kind of like getting together and joining forces, or, you know, forming an alliance.
Alliances, yeah, because the Sun is one leader and Jupiter is like another.
Yeah. Or, you know, I always find sometimes when Jupiter connects in a really positive way is that you can pull somebody in or that has a positive influence on you or has a wisdom or a piece of experience that they can gift to you, you know, sharing tips and tricks, or you connect with this person who can lead to that. It's just so opportunistic. And, you know, hence the Say Yes. So just so the listeners know, I've had this tradition for years.
Yeah.
So my birthday is at the end of June. And so basically June is just yes month. And so the whole Jupiter piece, especially in Sag, is about saying yes. So if something comes along in your inbox or, you know, you get a message and you might be like, I don't know, just say yes. You know, it can lead to really good things that have a real elevational quality to it with these planets in such good condition. It's not going to be a dud invite. It's probably going to be really good, you know, like you'll have a great time or have, you know, the great connections or the great influence or the great experience.
Yeah, totally. I mean, with that, the Sun being in Aries, it's in its exalted sign, and Jupiter in Sag is in its happy place. It's like two kings at a feast table who've just broken bread together and made peace and let's go forward together. I love it. And as well, you've also got at the same time the moon in Leo forming a trine to Alicia.
Yeah.
So there's so much fire. So it's I see so much passion and just ability to really get things done. There's a lot of dynamism and, you know, the Leo is the royal aspect as well, really, the king. So it's kind of cool, that whole bringing in the royalty of just being at the top of our game, being in the best possible place we can be, and just trusting yourself and trusting the opportunities that come in, the confidence, the belief, the faith and the hope that all of this can bring is pretty awesome. So, yeah, it's going to be a great day.
I mean, it's a Sunday, so it's a really lovely day for solar and Jupiter magic. Yeah, so if anyone, you know, we should give a shout out to the darling. Oh, sorry. I feel like we might have blipped. Sorry. Can you guys hear
That's okay. It's Jupiter night too, Sunday night. So it's Jupiter night, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so it just doesn't get better than that.
No. So you were going to give a shout out, Cal?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say to Caitlin from Sphere and Sundry, for anybody who's working with her beautiful planetary magic wares, the Regulus series and even the Jupiter series would be really beautiful to work with on this particular Sunday, April 14th, because the Sun and Jupiter are in such good condition that you can just get a little bit more of their favour, if you like. And it really feels like just being in the right place at the right time, things coming together. It's a really positive energy. We will get 2 Sun-Jupiter trines this year. This is the first. The other one will happen I was going to say in the month of Leo, but in the month where the Sun is in Leo. That's astrologer speak for late July and August. So I feel like that aspect definitely needs a bit of a mention.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I heard on the Astrology podcast that you did for the month of April that you guys were sort of talking about how if somebody wanted to create a fire trio podcast.
Oh yes, this would be their inception chart.
This is your election date or your episode launch. And, we could always join forces, water and fire, and do a whole Game of Thrones podcast together. So if there's any friends out there that have a tight fire trine, let's do it.
Yeah. That's true. I think Chris very sweetly mentioned that on the Astrology podcast. Yeah, that was very kind of him.
We really are a water trio, a tight grand trine.
Technically, no faking it, basically.
No. So I'm 4 degrees. I think, Alicia, you're 5 and maybe Kel's.
I'm 6.
So you're 6.
I think I might be
4,
7.
6.
4, 6,
You're
7.
4, 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I'm so Neptune.
Well, because I have a few things in Pisces, so I just had to think which degree is my sun. I was like, well, they're all 2 degrees apart, so that's where my random counting.
I'm the same.
Yeah, you've got
same
so
with
many
my
things.
Scorpio.
Yeah, you've got a stack of Scorpio.
I'm 2, 4, 6 with mine. So
yeah, I'm 5, 7, 9. Yeah. And Cass.
And for me, the sun is the only water planet, except for Uranus, but the sun is the only water planet I have. But it's the only one that counts for the
Correct.
water.
Correct. We only need one. So is that our week? Have we covered it?
yes, seems to be.
We've done it.
We've done it. We managed to get through that haze. We swam.
Yeah. We all had to do swimming lessons as kids.
So has anyone got anything to announce, to talk about, gals? Any new offerings?
Yes. I do have something.
Tell us.
Tell you. The Astrology University is doing a summit this coming weekend, and I want to make sure I describe it appropriately, so I am quickly typing to pull up the summit page. It's called 2020 Epic Cycles of Change and Renewal. It's running for 2 days, April 13th and 14th. Now, you can just listen along free if you're online. Basically, there'll be lectures to cover. You won't be able to hear everything in your time zone, but there'll be at least, 3 or 4 lectures in your time zone. Everything then goes on a 24-hour free replay. So if you can't catch it live, you can catch it within the next 24 hours. But if you do want all the lectures, I think there's a very reasonable fee to sign up for the whole pass, the Access All Areas pass. Some of the speakers include Lynn Bell, Frank Clifford, Stephen Forrest, Demetra George, Lawrence Hillman, Tony Howard, Mark Jones, myself, and a bunch of other people. So if you're interested in looking at this,
is Kira Sutherland talking? I'm pretty sure she is.
She's not on the schedule. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay. I mean, Kira's wonderful, but she's not. No. So if you're interested in cycles of 2020, looking at all the different astrological events for next year, which is very pivotal, that's happening, April 13th and 14th. So it's an online thing. You can sign in from anywhere in the world.
Cool.
What do you guys have going on?
What have you got on, Leash?
The following Monday. So I am making the most of that
Jupiter trine.
Sun, Jupiter trine energy and the Leo moon there to start my astrology course. So that is almost fully booked up. So I have one last spot. If anybody would be interested in registering, hop online. It is a face-to-face course that I'm running in Palmwoods here in sunny Sunshine Coast. That's about it for me. I'm, of course, seeing clients, as always.
Yes. What about you, Cass?
For me, I'm chockers with client consults right now. I'm still running my 50% off sale until Venus and Aries, so you've got until the 21st, but I guess there's just a little bit of a waiting list now because I can only do so many. So yes.
So what's your wait time, Cass? Is it about a month at the moment for a consult?
Well, I'm probably got maybe like one more week I can do, and then I've got to kind of be in prep for NORWAC and other sort of commitments that I've got going on. So, you're always welcome to sort of secure the price and then, book it later in the year, closer to your birthday, whatever. So there's no real rush to kind of have your appointments, but there is a bit of a waiting list. So I probably can maybe fit a few more this April, and then I probably won't be able to do any more until June, July.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Busy times with Pisces planets.
Yes. All right, girls. Well, let's wrap it up for now, and we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. See you, Kel.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.